Here it says the scale drawing of a rectangular pond is 3 millimeters to 10 yards. The dimensions of the drawing are 15 millimeters by 33 millimeters. So let's first sketch our drawing. And what it's asking us in the first question is to calculate the actual dimensions of the pond. So we need to convert that 33 millimeters to yards and the 15 millimeters to yards. And we're going to do that by setting up a proportion. Before I start filling in numbers in my ratios, I'm going to decide what's going to go on the top in the numerator and what's going to go on the bottom. It doesn't matter which is which, it's just that you decide and you commit to it. So I'm going to put millimeters in the top and yards in the bottom. Now to convert 33 millimeters to yards, I'm going to use this scale. That 3 millimeters is 10 yards. So do I put the 3 in the top or the bottom? In the top. Millimeters is in the top, yards is in the bottom. Now 33 millimeters, if I want to convert that using the scale, do I put the 33 in the top or the bottom? In the top, because millimeters is in the top. We don't know how many yards it is, so that is going to be our variable. Now we need to solve this by cross multiplying. 3 times x is 3x, and 10 times 33 is 330. Now if we want to solve for x, we're going to undo this multiplying by 3 by dividing by 3. Because 3 divided by 3 cancels out. And what we need to do is also divide by 3 on the right side. And so we're left with x equals 110. So 33 millimeters is 110 yards. Now let's do the same for 15 millimeters. Again, same scale, 3 millimeters is 10 yards. Now where does the 15 millimeters go? It goes in the top. And then we don't know how many yards it is, so that's our x. So when we cross multiply to solve this proportion, we get 3x equals 10 times 15 is 150. Now to solve for x, we're going to undo this multiplying by 3 by dividing by 3. We have to do that on both sides, and we end up with x equals 50. So 15 millimeters is 50 yards. Now the second question says, calculate the area of the drawing and the area of the actual pond. So we want to calculate the area inside these borders. So remember, the area of a rectangle, the formula, is length times width. So if we want to look at the drawing, the length is 33 and the width is 15. So if we multiply those, we get 495. And it's 495 millimeters squared because it's 33 millimeters times 15 millimeters. Now let's look at the actual drawing. The actual pond. So the length for this one is 110 and the width is 50. If we multiply those, we end up with 5,500 yards squared. Now it says calculate the ratio of the areas. So again, I'm just going to decide now what's going to go on the top, what's going to go on the bottom. Again, I'm going to put the millimeters on the top, the yards on the bottom. So the ratio would be 495 over 5,500. After you have your ratio set up, you want to simplify it if possible. Like in this case, I notice the ending numbers here, 5 and 0. That means I can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 5. And when I do, I'm left with 99 over 1,100. Now I notice I have a 99 in my numerator and an 11 in my denominator. I know I can divide both of those by 11. And when I do, I'm left with 9 over 100. And I can't simplify that anymore. So this would be the ratio comparing the two areas. Now it says, show that the ratio of the areas, that 9 over 100, equals the square of the scale factor. Remember, the 9 over 100, that's comparing millimeters to yards. So if I look at the scale factor up here, it's 3 millimeters is 10 yards. And so they want us to see if we square the scale factor here, if it equals the ratio of the areas. And it does, because 3 squared is 9 and 10 squared is 100.